What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today. So we're going to be picking up from where we left off yesterday, and before I do all of that, I want to give a big shout out to all my day ones, and also I need to now give another shout out to all my day twos because we've gone past 1,000 subscribers. So my day twos are anyone from 1,000 up to 2,000. Then we're going to have the day threes, the day fours, the day fives, etc. But big shout out to all of you guys. Like, I definitely appreciate all of your energy coming over to support this channel as I share with you how I like to play in the markets. And like I always say, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just basically sharing with you how I like to play the game, and hopefully within doing so you may find 1-2 gems in it for yourself that obviously you can use to make good moves in the markets. But it's super important that you check the work that I do, because like I always say, and I'm not going to stop saying it, I am not an expert. Okay, I'm literally someone that spent so much time doing this. I've become very good at doing this, right? But I do make mistakes, I do get it wrong, and I wouldn't want you to obviously take my word from it, like literally like it's the gold standard. You take that word, you run with it, and then it all goes wrong, because if it does, you're only going to blame me for it. And it's super important that I let you know it's not going to be my fault, because as long as I'm telling you I am not an expert, I do know what it is that I'm doing, right? But however, I do get it wrong, and I am encouraging every single one of you to do the work, which is your homework, so you can understand how to do this yourself. You cannot blame me for anything. Now, with all of that said and done, we're going to get straight into it. So first things first, we're going to talk about my plays for yesterday. So yesterday I talked about a play that I did. It did get triggered, right? I was profitable, bearing in mind my TP was down here, right? And as you can see, price didn't go anywhere near there. And I do like to use the trailing stop, literally, and that trailing stop once again saved me. It saved me early in the day yesterday. I would have preferred if it done it today, but it triggered yesterday, and this is the one that took me out. So this little wick over here, this one right here, was the one that took me out. I think I had my trailing stop around this level somewhere. So I had my trailing stop about here somewhere. It was just underneath this one over here, so this yellow one. So I'm just going to draw the little line around it. So it's about here somewhere, right? And that's what was taking me out. It actually wasn't this wick, it was this yellow one that actually took me out, to be fair. So I came out with a little bit of profit. It weren't bad. I wanted more, but naturally it was a good play, so I'm not going to knock it, right? It was a good play. I did what I was supposed to do. I walked away with a little something, and next time we're definitely going to get it right. So before I go into where I think market is going to go, all right, I want to cover a few things in regards to there was a gentleman that I was talking to. So I'm just going to take a look at that message. I'm just going to go and bring that message up real quick. Okay, and this is the message over here. So how long do you predict the current downtrend to continue, and at what point do you believe in entering in? So he's thinking about taking a buy, right? And that's this guy, The Truth. By the way, The Truth, I like your username, The Truth. I love it. I love it, right? So I basically replied to him right now. At the time of writing, the price has completed its pullback and will start to fall at the US market open. A bounce to the upside may start from Friday or Monday, in my opinion, right? Now, when I wrote this, right, which is why it's super important that I always like to make sure that I'm giving the best information, price was here. So price was around about this location right here when I wrote that, right? So what basically I thought was price was going to do something like this, get to this level, and then begin to fall. And at which point, I literally had a sell stop right here. I've actually cancelled that sell stop now. So I had a sell stop sitting about here somewhere. No, I think it's this one. So I had a sell stop sitting about here somewhere, right? And then naturally price has now flown up. It's now flown up, right? And so we missed all of that. And that information that I put in that message, as you can clearly see, was incorrect, right? And that's why I always like to mention that I am not an expert. It is important you do your own homework, right? Now, I didn't foresee this happening, and I couldn't see it happening, right? Is this going to be the first time? Absolutely not. Will it be the last time? Absolutely not, right? Because I like to see myself as someone that is learning every single day, and I always encourage you guys to post your information in the comment box, because we learn off each other, right? And we also get to learn off the mistakes that we made. And if you're going to be traders, it's one thing that we have to be very comfortable with. We're going to make mistakes. I'm really comfortable with that fact. I'm going to make mistakes, right? But it's what I do with the mistakes that is the absolute important thing about it. What do I do with that, with the mistakes, right? So now we've gotten all that covered. I thought it was going to go down. Price has gone up. So now let's see what price is going to do when it heads up, right? What price is going to do when it heads up. So as it stands right now, price is on its way up to the upside, okay? Now, do I believe price is going to go past this point? I actually don't think so. I don't think it will, right? But at the same time, I also need to find a good place where I think price could actually start returning from, right? Now, what I also like to do is I like to incorporate order blocks into my decision making, right? So order blocks into my decision making, and this is an order block right here, right? So we have an order block right here, and since I found this order block on the hour, I'm going to call this the 1 hour order block, right? So there we have it, the 1 hour order block, right? So price is now in this particular zone at the moment, okay? Now there's only one thing that I'm waiting for right now, is to price to confirm that it wants to fall back down again, to go down to this level, to this zone right here. Let me get this little thingamajig, okay? Right. Okay, so this is the level, right? So all it is that I need to know is that price is going to be returning from this level back down, okay? And then I will then enter in with a sell, okay? Most likely it's going to be a sell stop underneath, and then we ride it all the way down, right? Or it's going to do another consolidation. But as you can see right here, we've also got something else that we can actually work with to help us in regards to jumping out of a trade if it looks like it's not going our way. And that is this trend line that I'm drawing right now. Okay, so this trend line that I'm drawing right now seems to be getting obeyed by the markets, okay? And how do I know that? We have 3 confirmed touches at this particular trend line, right? So any future moves that I make will have to obey this trend line. Where I want price to go, naturally, is I want it to come to this zone, because it's going to give me the biggest amount of profits. But at the same time, a pullback from this level could basically mean that it lands somewhere over here, or it could land somewhere over here, right? Somewhere at this level right here. So let's do another little level, because that too is another little order block that I've seen, sorry. Okay, so let's mark this order block, boom. Okay, so price could actually come down to this zone, right? Give us a double bottom in comparison to this one over here, and then begin to push back up, right? So this is a basic assessment on an hour. Now, what I now need to do is jump into a higher time frame to see how much sense this overall assessment makes, right? So first we're going to do the 4 hour, and then we're going to have a look to see what's happening. So on a 4 hour, we can clearly see we have a very, very, very strong downtrend, right? A very strong downtrend at the moment, okay? And although price is pushing up at the moment, it needs to go above this level over here in order for us to consider this a possible uptrend. So as it stands, it is a downtrend, and this is the particular structure that we have on the 4 hour. So this is the structure that we have on the 4 hour. So what this basically tells me, what I'm looking at right now, what it basically tells me right now as I'm looking at this, right, as we're heading towards this key zone over here, right, is that I believe we are going to get another push to the downside to this level, right? And if you go to what this gentleman said, let me just go back, because someone did say something. Do you think it would break 10550? All right, so do I think it's going to break that? Okay, so this is around this region, right? So this is the zone that he's basically talking about. It's around this region right here. So let's make it a little bit higher. So just around this region right here. All right, do I think it's going to break this zone? And the reason why he's basically said that is in comparison to this zone over here. Okay, do I think it's going to break that? Well, I don't know. I actually do not know. I do not know. I do not know. Because one thing that I'm trying to do as I analyze the market is not try to predict where the market is basically going to go. I just want to respond to the market as fast as possible based on what the market is doing. Responding to the market works well in my favor. So last week and this week I've been profitable throughout. Okay, I've taken a couple reds. I think I took 2 reds last week, something like that, 2 reds last week, but the profits made up for it. So essentially I didn't take any reds, right? One of the key things that I was doing was, rather than trying to predict the market, I'm just going to go with the flow of the market. I'm going to look at the overall chart in terms of where the positions, where everything is, okay, right? And then that will let me know what is the highest chance that market is going to head to that location. And that gives me the highest probability of getting the most out of the market. This is the level that I'm expecting a pullback from, right? And how have I confirmed that this is a possible level for a pullback? How have I confirmed this? All right, cool. Well, here it is. First, we have this trend line, right? So this trend line, we're going to make it yellow, right? And we're going to make it fat, a nice fat trend line, right? So this is the trend line that price is currently sticking to. Hence why I believe that price is going to begin to pull back from this trend line, and it's in that zone right now at the making of this video. Why do I say that? I'll say that in relation to the 1 hour order block that is sitting right over here. So if you jump into the 1 hour order block, or the 1 hour time frame, this is the order block I am talking about. This order block can be found. This order block can be found if you go to your chart on Tuesday, the 20th of December at 5 in the morning. So 0500 hours. Okay, this is where this order block is located, right? Currently, this is where price is sitting at the moment, right? This price is now firmly in that zone. Okay, right. So now I'm going to go into the 15-minute to just give us a bit of a better understanding as to what is actually happening with these 3 candles in this location, right? So that's going to further strengthen whatever it is that I'm saying. Okay, so if you go into the 30-minute, if you go into the 30 minutes, we can basically see that looking at these candles, we don't have an all-encompassing. Okay, right? So it may begin to start playing around in this zone according to the 30-minute. So let's go a little bit lower to see if we can get a clearer picture. And remember, the lower we go, right, the less reliable the information that we're going to be seeing becomes, right? So it's not diamond standard intel anymore. It's becoming less and less and less because we're going into a lower time frame. But I'm just trying to understand what is happening here. Okay, so going by what I'm seeing here on the 15-minute, okay, I'm seeing what I believe could be a potential range that begins to form at this level, right? So we have the bottoms over here, we have a top over here. We need to see what happens once this once these candles finish forming. So basically we're going to have a much better picture, say around about tomorrow, right? So tomorrow morning we should have an idea what is happening in this zone, right? So let's go even lower than that, and that's the lowest point. So this kind of confirms my thinking at the moment. It kind of confirms my thinking at the moment, which is, so right now we're looking at this on a 5-minute, okay, on the 5-minute. On the 5-minute right now, we do have a bit of a channel that has formed, right? So we do have a bit of a wedge that's formed. So we're just gonna take this down to 1. Gonna make this white. Actually, I'm gonna change the formation a bit, make this dotted. Okay, much better. At least we can tell them apart now, right? So we do have a bit of a channel that has formed, and this is on the 5-minute. So this is not super reliable intel information, all right? We can definitely see on the 5-minute that we do have a level that is being respected at the moment, and that is this right here on the 5-minute. Okay, so what does that basically tell me? And there is the levels that I'm talking about being respected is this zone over here and this zone over here, because we have a wick through, so a couple of wicks has come through, but this particular 2 wicks here, so the bullish and the bearish wick, so the bearish wick and the bullish wick have basically gone through this overall box, but this is a nice little zone, right? Now, what this basically tells me is that there's a very good chance that we are going to have a range in this area. Not confirmed, because like I say, I'm not an expert, I don't know, I'm just going by the data, right? So what this tells me is that something like this is going to be happening, right? And this is to be confirmed, by the way, to be confirmed. So price is going to go here, do its little thing and get there, and then do its little thing and then get here, and then do its little thing and get here, and then at some point it could either break down or it could continue to push up, right? So that is my thinking in regards to this zone right now. Okay, so the things I'm looking for into the morning, right, is what happens in this area. If structure breaks in this area and starts to push down, then I would know that I could at least grab. So if I go into a higher time frame, so if structure starts to break from this zone right here, I know I can at least expect to grab from that level. So let's get rid of this, all the way down here. That's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum if I'm able to keep my wits together and not jump out too early. But like I always say, once it starts falling, trailing stop is activated, right? It's 100% activated. So even if I don't get what it is that I do want, I get something. So what do I expect in this zone? What am I expecting? What kind of goodies do I think this little box could give me, providing it continues in its little consolidation up here and then breaks down, which basically means we practically get it at the top, right? So if I write it down to this level over here, we're looking about 259 pips. It's not that great, but it's not bad either. Who's got to say no to free money? So yeah, so that's what I think is going to happen, okay, in my opinion. But we have to wait and see what happens in the markets, how everything kind of plays out. So let's have a look. Let's have a look to see if there's anything else happening, because I know there's no news this week. There's absolutely no news this week. It's all yellow news. There's no news. I'm just gonna have a quick check on FOREX Factory real quick. Let's hit refresh. Okay. All right. Everything from next week. Everything that's coming in from next week is refreshing for whatever reason. But yeah, it's everything is coming in next week. There are days when I'm absolutely going to avoid the markets, by the way. So let's just say from Sunday. Actually, no, wait, let's go back. So today's 29th. Wait. Let's just say up until Friday next week. All right. So there's a couple things that I'm going to avoid. So first off, I'm going to avoid the FOMC meeting, right? I'm going to avoid that 100%. So I'm going to be nowhere near the markets when this is going down. And non-farm payroll, I don't know. I think on Friday I'll probably avoid the markets as well, right? And I'll just pick it up from next week. So let me just see what happens from next week onwards. So let's go to the 13th. Okay. Now CPI, I'm going to be active. I'm going to be active for this one right here. And yeah, so yeah, it should be quite clear what we're going to do. But I know that on Thursday, I'm definitely going to be active. The CPI is definitely a fantastic day to be in the market. So I'm going to be doing something then. I'm going to be doing something good throughout the week, but I'm just going to avoid the FOMC meeting, and I'm probably going to avoid non-farm payroll, just depending on how I feel and depending on if I'm going to read it right or wrong. Yeah, read it right or wrong depending on what the information is saying. So that's what we're going to do. So let's jump out, go all the way back to where we were. So Guys, it's beautiful people from around the world. I hope you have enjoyed this installment of Pips and Points, right? If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. The YouTube algorithm loves all of that. I love that too. So obviously just do that, right? And you should see some videos on your screen, which is going to be the build up to where we are right now, because we're only analyzing the NAS. So make sure you hit those, you give that a nice little watch, just to give your bearings as to what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. You can just follow along nicely if you're able to go through the history as to how we've been making how I've been making my decisions. So with all of that covered, you beautiful people, I want to thank you for coming over. I definitely appreciate you, and I look forward to see you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. And this is Pips and Points signing out.